You're watching the TCMMA podcast.
Now, as we jump into the predictions for UFC 305, we usually like to begin in Fight 7 because Fight 7 is where things really heat up, right? And in Fight 7 here, we'll work our way to Fight 1. You got Josh Culibao, 11-3, taking on Ricardo Ramos, 16-6. This is Australia versus Brazil. And once you get into the late prelims and into the main card, you're going to see this a lot throughout the night. I think there's, let me scroll through here real quick. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, multiple fights where it's Australia versus Brazil. I'm seeing 5, potentially, yeah, it looks like 4 or 5 fights, Australia versus Brazil. But in this first one, you got Josh Culibao versus Ricardo Ramos. So let's jump into that prediction right now. In the featherweight division at UFC 305, you got your boy Josh Culibao coming in 11-3, taking on Ricardo Ramos out of Brazil, who comes in at 16-6. This is Australia versus Brazil. Now Culibao 1 inch taller, 5'10". He's 30. Ramos 29. Culibao 1 inch reach advantage. Both guys stand right-handed. Both guys land exactly 3.2 significant strikes per minute. But the Brazilian Ramos lands 1 takedown per round. So what's Culibao's takedown defense? 67%. That's right about average, which leads me to believe Ramos is getting some takedowns in his fight. Culibao coming off back-to-back losses. A tough one to Lerone Murphy. That's a good fighter by unanimous decision. And then Danny Silva. He lost to by split decision. So he led 87-45 in significant strikes but gave up 4 takedowns. And that's what Ramos is going to be looking to do here. Ramos coming off back-to-back losses, a tough one to Julian Juicy J. Erosa by submission. He was also submitted by Charles Jourdain. So a guy that can land takedowns is getting submitted. In both of those fights, he had 4 takedowns combined, but the takedowns got reversed on him. So keep that in mind. I don't know if Culibao will do that or not, but it's possible. He did beat Danny Chavez by KO. So this is a tough fight, man. To predict. The thing with Culibao is he was on a 3-fight win streak over Nauer Ndembeek, Sungwoo Choi, and Melsik Bagdasaryan. So if that guy shows up, he's got a good chance to win. And you know me, a lot of times if it's close, I go with the Brazilian, but I think Culibao is going to get the job done here. You know, it's just the intangibles. He's just going to find a way to win. You look at his numbers and you're like, 3 significant strikes per minute, no takedowns. How does he win any fight? But he won 3 in a row against 3 solid fighters. So I'm looking for that Culibao to show up. At one point, you know, he was like 8-9-1, suffered a few losses. So I'm looking for the old Culibao to show up. I think he's learned his lesson. He's getting better in the gym, things of that nature. So in my opinion, Culibao wins. Hard to say how, but likely by decision to move to 12-3, featherweight division, UFC 305. And you see that sometimes when guys come into the UFC, they struggle at first, right? Or what they'll do is they'll come in and win a few, then they'll get up the ladder, change levels, lose a few before they really hit their stride. And I think Culibao is about to hit his stride. I'm not saying he's going to win a title or anything like that, but I just get the feeling that Culibao is about to hit his stride, and I have no problems predicting him to win this fight at all. Right? I mean, the striking is going to be very even here. The Brazilian is certainly going to land takedowns. And as I said in the prediction, you know, it's hard to look at Culibao's numbers and say he's going to win. And then you look at his resume and it's like, okay, he's winning. Right? He finds ways to win. He might be down in the numbers and get a finish. But Culibao finds ways to win. So that's very important when picking fights. And we suffer some losses here and there, but a lot of times we're right 60 to 70% of the time because you got to find an angle. And I don't often go against Brazilians, but in this one I got to go against Ricardo Ramos and take Josh Culibao, and hopefully he can get the finish.
He's gon' fight, he's gon' fight. Hold your breath till the end of the night. Last fighter call, UFC at its height. Bringing that thunder with all his might. Saying, step up, wanna fight? Hold up, think twice. Gladiator, assassin, reckless, no abandon. Walk through that cage, he'll leave your ass stranded.